David Norman with Discover Battery. Last day of the Anaheim Convention Center RE Plus show for 2022. I'm here with Simon Ytterbom and Marc Stevens from Victron Energy, one of the world's leading suppliers of inverters, inverter chargers, and electrical balance of system equipment. We're at the show today. Actually, their booth is just down the way, so we pulled them over to have a bit of a conversation here. We've had integration, work with their inverter charger packages for now going on 4 or 5 years through closing the loop and things like this. Gentlemen, maybe just talk a little bit about your platform for off-grid, microgrid, residential sort of applications, what equipment people would be using and familiar with, and then what they would need to use and how they would do that, closing the loop with our batteries.
So yeah, that's right. We've worked with Discover for 5 years, and Marc here is one of our ambassadors for stationary applications. So you've worked hands-on with Discover batteries and our components to live off-grid successfully for 3+ years now.
With Discover. Yes.
In
Walking the walk.
What's that?
Walking the walk.
Walking the walk.
Yeah.
Off-grid and grooving.
So tell us a bit about your system that you have at home.
I've got 2,400 watts of solar, 2 of the Quattro 5000s.
Okay.
In the closed loop, and it's been working well. We've got 13 kilowatt hours of storage.
Okay.
And generally we use about 30% overnight, and we've got about 2 days of autonomy with that.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful.
And the Quattro that you're using 2 of those Quattros.
2 of the Quattros.
Which is our inverter chargers. And you have them set up for split phase 120/240.
That's correct.
Supply.
Yeah.
And you have a backup generator.
I have a backup generator, but
How often do you use that?
a year and a half ago, before the big all the smoke, 24 hours is all we ran our generator per year.
Okay.
So we're pretty blessed. We've got over 5 hours of sun a day, so pretty blessed.
Most demanding load on your property in terms of actually putting the Quattros to a test?
It's a deep well pump.
Deep well pump.
It's about 100-meter pump.
Okay.
The well is 100 meters.
Okay. Coming from the inverter business myself, I know a little bit about sort of transformer-based inverters and the advantages and things that there. I mean, with what you're doing at 240 volt, obviously, handling inductive loads is something that you guys are, Victron anyway, is very, very adept at.
Yes. So, it handles it well, and, once we get to about 80%, and then we start implementing opportunity loads, start pumping water, start heating water, things like that. So it's worked very well.
Perfect.
And we've also shown this system to multiple people with the integration of Discover, the AES batteries, on the screen at our booth as well. So you can see remotely your power consumption through our cloud, because everything with the Discover battery and Victron components are going through a GX device, and that's how we communicate between the batteries and the inverters and the solar charge controllers and so on and so forth.
Right.
And this is something that Marc's got set up so he can monitor it from anywhere in the world.
And it's whole system level rather than component level. You're not just seeing inverter. That's one of the advantages of having the battery on that, is you're actually getting interactive and cumulative data information for your battery as well.
And I can even see where the solar charge controller, instead of where you would see float or bulk or absorb, we're seeing external control.
Right.
So that's coming from the Discover system.
I don't actually. You lead me to my next question, actually, and things. So, one of the things we do when we close the loop is not just broadcast SOC and things like that. We're actually setting dynamic voltage targets, leading to your follower in terms of the charger at that point in time. What have you noticed in terms of recharge times on the batteries and these types of things? You've got 2 big honking chargers in that system.
Right. So I can see that our recharge time has dropped by at least an hour.
Okay.
So that gives us an opportunity to start those diversion loads or those opportunity loads quicker.
Do your laundry in the daytime.
Exactly. Pumping water for the garden, heating water, things like that. So it really helps.
Now, just for reference and things like that, geographically speaking, where is your home?
It's in northwest Nebraska, just south of the Black Hills, South Dakota. Pretty remote, 2 people per square mile.
And you're getting cold in the wintertime as well?
Very, very cold. We could see temperatures negative 40 C. All the way up to 45.
And in the mechanical room where you have your system installed and things like that, insulated, HVAC regulated, or simply?
No, it's in a semi-unheated shop, meaning if I'm in there, I'm burning wood and keeping it warm. Otherwise, The batteries are recessed in the floor with 2 inches of high-density foam,
Right.
and using heaters like grow mat heaters
Right.
in there.
Heat
So
mats.
I've got 2 of those. So 36 watts. It keeps. I've seen 0 Fahrenheit in the shop, but the batteries have never seen below 45 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Great. Anything you want to add in terms of, I was going to ask, for installers that are out there looking to get hold of Victron gear and, get themselves into doing an install with the system components that we've kind of described here today, where is the best place for installers to source your products today?
Well, the first thing that I would say is to go to our where to buy list on victronenergy.com, where we've listed all our knowledgeable distributors and also some of the installers. Just check and see if you have a local one in your area.
Yep.
That's always the best way instead of trying to source your components.
Yep.
Mark also put on, as far as the integration between Discover and Victron components, Mark put on a very nice webinar that's on YouTube. So make sure to check that out as well. You can just Google Victron Discover closed loop.
Okay.
And it's a 45 minutes, goes into depth of all the set points and what it's doing and how it's handling and the communication between our components and so on, so that you can get the max out of your system. And that's also how you decrease charging time for more efficient charging and all these things. So there's a lot of small things that you can take advantage of and make it a really efficient system that way. But check out a local installer. That's the best way, and they'll help you get off the ground.
Dovetailing on what Simon said there, and again, I came from the Schneider world. We were competitors on the inverter charger stuff for a while, but I will say this. Nobody does installer support better than Victron in the industry in terms of the amount of information, webinars, even the blog to talk to your peers and things and sort out problems. Victron is an installer's dream in terms of getting information about systems and solving your problems in the community. So hats off to you guys on that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, wrapping up again today from Anaheim in an RE Plus show for 2022. Thanks very much for joining, guys. I really appreciate it. Great to talk to you.
Sure.
Thank you much.
Thanks.